It's a Saturday afternoon in Palmerston North, the Ballroom. Get your dancing shoes on. Round 13, Sal's NBL action, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. Nearby neighbours, fierce rivals, the Jets and the Saints do battle today. Looking forward to this one. Lots of basketball coming your way on Sky Sport. The Jets and the Saints, Justin Nelson and Miles Pearce with you. Great to have you with us. These two teams always seem to put on such a great show when we get to see them in action. And of course the Saints, they're in the top six.
They are. They're coming into this game red hot. 3 wins a row, 4 of their last 5. There's not enough we can't say about them right now. They're just on fire.
Well, let's have a look at that ladder in the Sal's NBL as the crowd continues to stream in for this one this afternoon. And 2 games already played in round 13. The Saints, of course, got the Hawks by 27 on Thursday night. The Sharks, the giant killers of the competition right now, knocking down the Airs by 7 last night. But look at the Saints. They're up to 6th. And every team at the moment above them, and even the Bulls and the Rams just below them, are looking at the Wellington Saints and thinking, oh no, here we go.
If they can play the way they've played in the last handful of games, it's not necessarily a question of will they finish in the top 6, but where will they finish in the top 6?
Well, they have reached triple figures in their 5 last games in scoring, the Saints, so they are on an absolute charge at the moment. Games coming up, round 13, Rams and Giants tonight, Christchurch Arena. Big doubleheader with To'ihi, the Poakai and Kahu playing before that. They're talking more than 5,000 people for that doubleheader there today and this evening. And
Cal Stadium is a dungeon, but to have this game at Christchurch Arena is absolutely amazing. And with the doubleheader there, the atmosphere is going to be awesome.
And with the Airs losing last night, Nuggets and Airs, that's a huge game tomorrow. And how about the Bulls and Tuatara? Battle of the North, and probably the biggest one that those two teams have played.
Every game it has playoff implications right now, and I think that's such a huge joy for every spectator watching the Sal's NBL right now.
Saint starters for this one here this afternoon. Upshaw Jr., Samuel, Cooks, Nartai and Vidanovic. No Mike Smith, still out with an illness. So definitely he'll have to be covered. We know how big a season he's had, but that lineup straight away speaks volumes for how this team is travelling.
That is a big lineup. They can switch. They can attack guys offensively through size or skill. But as you mentioned, Smith out 19 points, just a touch over 19 points a game. There's some very capable guys in this Saints squad of picking up those 19 points and probably a few more.
Let's catch up with Coach Troy McLean.
Afternoon, Coach. Welcome to Palmerston North. A busy week for you guys. A couple of games against the Hawks and now a very short turnaround to this one. Limited time to prepare. Well, how have you gone about it?
Not much. We try to find similarities between the Hawks and the Jets, and we had some help from a collective group of coaches that we were kind of leaning on. So, yeah, we feel pretty prepared.
That's awesome. Look, some big names in and out for the Jets, some shuffle in lineups through illness and injury, some mismatch problems potentially for them with some big lineups that you can throw on the floor. How are you going to use that and how are you going to take advantage?
Look, we just try and play what we see on the floor. We give a lot of autonomy to the players to see those mismatches, and we do have lineups that are problematic for matchup situations. So, you know, there's guys that we want to attack today, and the idea is to execute those attacks in different scenarios, but make sure we move the ball enough to contract and extend the defense. So,
thanks very much. Good luck for this afternoon.
Charge the Saints, and they'll be looking to continue that run of form here today against the Jets. Here's the starters for the home team. Crawford, Temada, Bohannon is back from illness. Clyde Salmon and Paif Momorsia. The downside is Zayn Najdawi out not only for this game but for the rest of the season with a fractured finger. He is in the building, but he'll play no further part in season 2022. Tukaha Cooper is also out with a knee injury. Ben Robertson is missing as well. So plenty of players on the sidelines for the Jets. Let's catch up with Coach Natu Tofele.
Coach, good afternoon. What could be a very emotional last home game here with some stuff for Jake McKinley. How are you guys getting ready for this one?
Yeah, I think we've prepared as best we can. We're, this year we've epitomised and reinforced that we are a family, and Jake was part of the Jets family in the last, 12, 15, 20 years of his life. It's a big thing for a couple of our guys in our team who played with him. However, we're hoping to put in a good performance that would warrant his approval and obviously his family. So, yeah.
Great. Look, you guys have had some roster lineup, shake-ups, illness, injuries, different things like that. Been a little disruptive, but how are you guys going to try and take advantage of the guys coming in?
I guess the last third of the season has been a real challenge for us. Yes, we've had guys out, imports out. Every week there's an import out. Zane Najdawi's not playing today. He's got a fractured finger, and Suakaha Cooper, one of the younger guys, is out as well. We just have to adapt and adjust to who we have. And our expectation is they'll take the floor and play hard and committed for a full 40 minutes and get through our stuff in terms of what we want to do. Who knows? We could shoot the lights out today, and that could, stranger things have happened. Last night, the Airs lost to the Sharks, and you just don't know in this league. Everyone's competitive, and you have to play, to your full potential on the night and on the day. Otherwise, teams could, you could lose one or two. But we're up against it. This is a quality Saints side, no doubt about that. We know what they're capable of, and the challenge is there before us, and it's going to be a big one. The last home game for the year. The year's gone really quickly. We've enjoyed the ride, but hopefully we can put in a good performance today.
Awesome. Good luck, and hopefully some of those young guys can step up for you. Thank you.
Well, let's have a look at the head-to-head on this game here this afternoon, Miles. And although it doesn't look good for the Saints when it comes to defence, and it's been that way the whole season, and they're certainly not the best rebounding team in the competition, what they have turned around, especially in the last 5 or 6 weeks, is their ability to score. They're now number 1 in the NZNBL, and 2-point percentage, they are absolutely streets ahead of the competition and charging at the moment.
You're right there, and maybe there's not a lot of rebounds to grab when you're shooting the ball that well. They are absolutely on fire. 5 guys in double figures, 2 just a tick under 10, and some serious firepower at every single position.
Well, they are the only team in the competition that has 5 players averaging 17+ points per game. Officials for this one, Tim Brown, Taylor Amundsen, and Sam Pan. These two teams met earlier this season, May 29. The Saints 97 defeated the Jets 88. And they didn't have Reggie Upshaw Jr. for that game, and they didn't have Xavier Cooks.
And he's been absolutely outstanding since he touched down here, and I don't know how much part his Sydney Kings teammate had to play in getting him here, but if credit goes to Tommy V for that, then he'll take it because that is just an absolute coup in picking these guys up. And you mentioned earlier the rivalry here, and as we see the guys get out on the floor, Jordan Nartai, Tommy V, Marnie Meter, Darnay Samuel, Matangara Hipango, and Troy McLean have all been Jets at former times, and they're now on the Saints bench.
Oh, there's a lot of family bonds, a lot of basketball mateship between the Saints and the Jets. It's been that way for years, and they get to go head-to-head here this afternoon in Palmerston North. Round 13 Sal's NBL action, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. What an afternoon and what an evening of basketball we have for you on Sky Sport, men and women. And the first of 3 games back-to-back is underway. The Saints to get the opening possession of this one as they look to get the double for round 13, defeating the Hawks on Thursday night. Vidanovic opens it up, and there you go. Opening shot, opening point, Saints are away.
And I think the Jets are really going to really need to increase their ball pressure, particularly the way the Saints have been shooting the 3-ball, 19 threes against the Hawks at home. And it's just an area, the 3-point line is so valuable as we see Shane Temera get a 3 up of his own.
And he has been one of the leading lights this season for the Jets. Just over 17 points a game, Shane Temera. Though he's the self-made 6th man of the year if you follow all of his social media, he's actually starting today as Salmon misses that deep three. Here's Vodanovic. Sneaky look at back-to-back triples. Now with Nartai. He wants to go inside to Dane Samuel, who eventually gets it. Foul against Momosia.
And if the Jets are going to switch against this big lineup, there is going to be post-up opportunities, inside-out action available for the Saints if they're patient enough to really look at that.
Saints with the opening basket. Here's Upshaw Jr. Bohannon. Great to see him back in green for this one after some recent illness.
And much needed, particularly on the glass. Going at just a tick over 14 rebounds as we attempt to knock down the opening jumper for the Jets. But that's a huge part of the Jets game is trying to be out, get out and play at pace. You can't do that if you can't rebound, and Bohannon's done a huge job for them.
Well, he's a premier big man in the competition. Samuel for three.
There we see that inside-outside advantage, gaining an advantage of Nartai off the on-ball and being able to put a guy on his back and just create that 1 versus 2 to a 1-on-0 shot.
On the curl, Momosia over the top of the iron. Upshaw Jr. to Cooks, back to Upshaw Jr. Transition ball from the Saints, and they're out to a quick 6-point lead.
Coach DeFale calls a quick timeout before the damage gets too bad here. But you can see the patience and poise of the Wellington Saints on the offensive end, able to pick them apart, take those opportunities running. And if the Jets can't do something to stop this early, it could be a bit of a blowout quickly.
And what a late season pickup Upshaw Jr. has been. This guy here, by the way, or this couple here, would have to be the greatest airtime fillers on Sky Sport in all of Cell's NBL. A game does not go by involving the Jets where these two people don't get airtime.
They're so well dressed. How could you not? How could you not?
They get more airtime than some of the players coming off the bench, I'm telling you. Reggie Upshaw Jr., late season pickup. How's it been for the Saints? 21 points a game at 53%, over 8 rebounds a game, nearly 3.5 triples. I mean, he has been just an incredible late season inclusion.
He really has, and the thing that impresses me most about him is not necessarily the scoring, but his willingness to come in late and be part of this group and just take whatever's coming to him. And he has been a very, very worthy recipient at the end of penetration, kick out, whatever, the extra pass. But it's stuff that he's willing to do as well, which makes this group so dangerous.
Hot start by the Saints. Early timeout by the Jets. Crawford, first touch of the game. Gets it back now. This time he goes inside, outside. Momosia, a little bit deep. Away they come again, the Saints. Samuel under pressure. Goes it alone in the end. Vodanovic with the rebound. Well done by Crawford to knock it clear.
And you can see offensive rebounds at both ends of the floor. It's something that I'm sure both teams will want to tidy up as we see Crawford go for a contested three against Vodanovic.
And look out, Vodanovic is quickly up the other end, working on Crawford, turns off the right, and more points for the Saints.
And for the Jets, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword right now. They're not scoring, and they can't contain this powerful Saints offense.
Well, right now, the opening minutes suggest the Saints are looking at another triple-figure game. Crawford just off.
In Crawford's last 6 games, 20-plus points. He's really going to need to get going. Plus, they're missing 17 and 10 rebounds, 17 points, 10 rebounds from Najdawe. Someone needs to step up, and that needs to be fairly soon.
Crawford with the foul there, digging in on Tom Vodanovic. And while they need Robert Crawford to get 20 plus at one end, he's going to have a huge task defensively in this one. Oh, great play by the Saints on the inbound. Cooks with the points.
Jets looked like they were in a little bit of a zone there, and everyone just sort of fell asleep and thought someone else was guarding someone else, and Cook's able to get to the basket for what could be a very easy two, throughout this game.
Margin of 10 early. Bohannon has Upshaw Jr. reaching, misses on the turnaround. Here they come again. Cooks, the 6'10" point, hands it back to Upshaw Jr.
And what a luxury Coach Troy McLean has, being able to play Ngatai and Cooks at the point guard with the absence of Smith. It's just a lot of size and length, and they're both such willing passers, which is really going to make this offense happen as we see Crawford step back. Upshaw Jr. with a rebound, kicking ahead to Cooks, who finishes athletically over the top of the Jets defenders.
When he's got that look in his eye, Xavier Cooks, there really is no player in the Sal's NBL who can stop him. 17-2 now, turnover. Here they come again. 4.5 minutes played. And this is a dangerous sign for the Jets. Ngatai on Bohannon. Corner, Vidanovic, short. Jets come up with it. Momorsia tries to up the pace. Bohannon from a long way out here. Temera will fire away. Another missed shot for the Jets, and the Saints get it back.
And this is the tempo that really will favour the Saints right now as we see some subs come into the game. Tamafamusili, Nathaniel Salmon for the Jets, Marnie Meter, and Kenneth Tuffin checking in for the Saints.
Saints have scored 100 points or more in their last 5 games. The only team to put together a 5-game stretch like that. Ominous signs. They're well on their way to 6 straight here. Another big basket. Dougal Meter with the triple, just stepped onto the floor. They're out by 18.
And something that Meter can really add to this group is his ability to shoot the ball, and he's been shooting it as well, as we see Crawford get to the rim, unable to finish. And if the Jets are going to play a zone, they really need to pay attention to the corners, because that was just way too easy.
Well, the Jets are going to have to use another timeout here. Upshaw Jr. on the turn. A rare miss from him.
And missed everything. Didn't hit rim, but I'm sure the Jets are happy with that shot.
Loose pass.
They throw that
Salmon
one away.
keeps it in, but straight to Tuff, and he's got numbers running with him. He may need them. Jets win the day, though. Long way back from the early minutes of this game. Bohannon onto the right. He misses as well, and then fouls. And I reckon the Jets are going to grab another timeout here.
Well, they really need to address a little bit of everything right now, and the Saints are just red hot. So what can you do to throw up some rhythm? And Coach Stefali calling a timeout is probably one of the only things right now. Is
1 of 13 they are, Miles, the Jets.
And they've generated some couple of good looks. And unfortunately, those haven't gone. And scoreboard pressure adds, you get a little bit more nervous. You're always a little bit more worried about the next shot and the next shot. What they need to do is focus on every possession as a single thing. 8
of 12 by comparison, the Saints with a 20-2 start here this afternoon in the Ballroom. We mentioned earlier that the Saints have 5 players averaging 17+ points per game. The only team in the competition to have that many players at 17+. The next best for any team is 3 players, and that is occurring in 3 teams.
I think one of the wonderful things is, for the Saints guys, it's not necessarily it's whoever's night. And they do such a great job of finding that guy and being able to knock that down, as we see Coach Joe Frost, former Manawatu Jet and long-time Manawatu coach, did a lot and still does a lot for the game here in Palmerston North.
And by namesake, pretty frosty in the Ballroom today.
It is a little bit cool.
Been a frosty start for the Jets as well. Mentioning those other teams with players at 17 plus points, 3 players each. The Airs, the Nuggets, and the Giants, for those who are wondering who those teams are.
It's a pretty solid group of teams right there. As we see the Jets continue to play this zone.
Here's a chance on the turnaround, Kenneth Tuffin.
And I think the Saints bench right now, we see Tuffin and Meter come off the bench and both hit knockdown threes. Just the ability to contribute. And they've sort of just spoilt for choice, really, as we see Tom Vodanovich check back into the game and Upshaw Jr. check out.
Run home for the Saints. They've got the Giants at home and the Tuatara away to end their season, up to 6th on the ladder after back-to-back wins against the Hawks. Certainly if they can get this one today, and they're well on their way already, and we're not even 7 minutes in. Temera, another miss. You would think they only need one of those last 2 and they'll probably make it, the Saints.
And at this rate, we had an emotional ceremony to start the game with the retirement of Jake McKinley's jersey, and Isaac Famusili and Jacob Collis both played Rep High School, but there's a lot of the Jets guys wouldn't have had a lot to do with Jake, and there's more guys almost on the Saints roster that have had some stuff to do with Jake, so possibly coming out with a little bit of emotion there and using that to their advantage.
Interesting, isn't it? Tough and strong to the basket. Yeah, we talked in the pre-game, Miles, about how these two teams, these two clubs are entwined with each other, close in proximity, and they have had plenty of players, especially the younger crop over the years, share time at one or the other. And it was an emotional beginning to this game. Jets watching on, Kenneth Tuffin at the Resine. What a start today by the Saints. They are in red hot form. Tuffin misses.
And uncharacteristic there, missing both from the line for Tuffin, as we see the Jets really starting to move the ball. Nathaniel Salmon can't get that to go on the right wing.
I think he may have heard you call his name then as he ran past. He gave you a good stare, Miles. Maybe looking for some advice on his shooting. There's Vodanovich somehow eventually getting a shot. Now having to play defense on Nathaniel Salmon. And the young man is keen to give it a crack against Tommy V. Draws the foul.
Nathaniel has a very bright future. He's part of our junior Tall Black squad. And showing his wares here in the NZNBL this year.
Speaking all things Tall Blacks, we wish the national team well tonight.
Yes, it's a big day of basketball. We've got the game this afternoon, and then we've got the double-header from Christchurch, and later on this evening, the Tall Blacks face off against Australia. Yeah,
semi-final in the Asia Cup. Far more silly with the miss, and I count it at about 1 of 16 at the moment for the Jets. Dougal Meter, another triple for the Saints. And that scoreboard is working perfectly correctly, ladies and gentlemen. 26-2 start by the visitors as the Jets continue to go searching.
I don't know, we might have to get the stat man on this, but as we see Cook straight down the lane, just way too easy down the lane, but we'll have to get the stat man on this one. What is the lowest scoring quarter in the NZNBL this year? And possibly over the number of years.
Don't worry about getting the stats man on the phone. This is it at the moment. Bahanan blocked by Vodanovich. Second effort blocked again. They may eke out a basket. They do. And the crowd likes it as Klein Salmon eventually finds their third and fourth points of the quarter. Cook's back the other way, is off to the Resine. And let me remind you, the Jets have no timeouts left for the entirety of the first half.
And Coach Natsu Tafale burning those 2 timeouts early, but you can see why with that scoreline already here in the first quarter, as we see the effort from Klein Salmon just finishing what was their only second basket of the game.
Xavier Cooks at the Racine line. 57% free throw shooter, by the way, Miles. It's probably his only blemish.
Well, for the Saints right now, 0 of 3 from the Racine foul line. Probably the area of the game as we see Cooks knock that one down. But that's probably the weakest area of their game right now, as they've scored 28 points for the quarter.
In the corner, a chance for Salmon. Goes begging. Final seconds of this first quarter. What a start today by the Wellington Saints. 2 big wins over the Hawks in back-to-back Thursday nights. Now some Saturday afternoon action, and they are up and about. Tommy V for 3, and a quarter time. The Saints have come to play here today in a major way. The ballroom belongs to them in the opening 10 minutes. Tommy V with some icing on the cake. They're out by 27 points in just a quarter of basketball. In fact, make that 28. Quick break, second quarter coming up. Stick with us.
There you go. All right, guys, let's cheer them on. Yeah, 1 minute. You can leave your rebound. No break your ball. There we go. In the gear. Give it a minute. There's the one. Keep it up. Let's go, guys. Let's cheer them on. Woo! Nice, nice. There's 5 seconds. 5 seconds. And stop. Go, one more. Shoot up. Boom. All right, bring it over. Come over this way. Can I grab one of those balls? Thank you. All right, so Ben's going to take away a GJ Gardner Holmes ball and Sal's t-shirt. Nice work. All right, give it up for Ben.
Welcome back to the Ballroom, Saturday afternoon in the NZNBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Holmes. Round 13 action and an opening quarter that belonged to the Saints, 32-4. Miles Pierce.
An unbelievable start to the Saints game here. It's 7 of 9 from three-point line, 9 assists, 10 points in the paint. They're really doing it all. And on the flip side, the Jets really struggling, 2 of 22, including none of 10 from the three-point line.
And the Saints already getting all over the Jets. They're grounded at the moment. Salmon off the glass. Can't make. Saints come up with it.
A better possession from the Jets, a little bit more patient, starting to work that around. But that's every possession for the Saints right now. And we see Richards miss a box out on Upshaw Jr. and the Saints be able to get another look at it.
Yeah, there's a lesson there for the young man. Shot clock down to 3. Vodanovic going to work. Can't get the roll. Foul is on young Luka Richards.
And if you just look at the experience of the Jets lineup versus the Saints lineup right now, there are a lot of games and a lot of games in multiple leagues for the Saints. Tommy V coming off a great season and championship with the Sydney Kings, able to just take young Luka to school.
Well, they moved into the 6 for the first time this season after that win on the Hawks.
And wasn't that an impressive double against the Hawks? As we see Tom Vodanovich missed from probably the only blemish on the Saints right now is their trips to the Resine charity stripe haven't paid off at a clip that they'd like. We see Momosia get into the lane and score.
Good basket for Paif Momosia. And the Jets fans find a little bit of voice. Something that's not too hard for them to do. They are a very active bunch. Great pass when he had a Mulvihill out to Tommy Vodanovich.
And we've called a couple of games here, and I've been here for some IV stuff, some pre-game interviews and things. The Jets crowd has been absolutely amazing all season long. They do a great job putting on a really great show here.
Lots of kids in here this afternoon. But at the moment, they're going to need all of those fans plus more the Jets to get themselves back into this one. Early going in the second quarter. The scoreboard is not playing tricks on you. Fantastic move to the basket. Nathaniel Salmon did everything but reward himself. They get it back now through Collis.
And he had a great start. His first home game was outstanding. No imports at the time. Came out just shy of a double-double. So it's great to see his opportunity here. Unfortunate with Njdawe out, we see Cooks find Tom Vodanovich and knock down another three. But Collis getting an opportunity to play again with Njdawe out.
Here's Salmon. Richards underneath, misses. Salmon with the tap back in. And how about the minutes that Nathaniel Salmon's played so far today?
He's been really good, and that's one of the areas that you'd love to see him more. Is just he's a big, strong guy. He's got some athletic ability. See him on that offensive glass and putting pressure on the defense just with his relentless effort.
And I think if anything, Miles, when you are faced with the prospect that the Jets have ahead of them right now, what you do look for is those small glimmers of hope, those small positive performances, the things that you can attach the rest of the team to, and we're seeing that at the moment from Nathaniel Salmon.
And the Jets have got a young squad. They've got to use the youth to their advantage. Just get out, be enthusiastic, enjoy playing. And while it's a little tough to enjoy the scoreline right now if you're a Jets fan, you got to respect the effort that these young guys are given.
Vodanovich makes the second from the Resine. They can hardly blame the Rings given they're doing everything with their field goals so far, as Momosia smacks that one away from the waiting clasps of Francis Winiata Mulvihill. Johnny Halou, great to see him back. He's missed the best part of what seems like 5 or 6 weeks with a hand injury. Here's Upshaw Jr. Battle for the rebound. And Halou comes back at a critical time for the Saints. No Mike Smith today. You can see him wearing that brace on his right hand. Had missed some time with a fracture. Speaking of fractured hands, Zane Njdawe finished for the season for the Jets. Not playing today, not playing for the remainder of the season with a fractured hand.
I was able to chat to him before the game, and it was something that happened in the last game, taped it up and played through. He said as the adrenaline wore off, that's when it got really bad. As you see, the Jets knocked down their first three.
Luca Richards with the triple. And just as importantly, they move into double digits for the first time today. It's taken a while to get there. Halou. Cooks will go over the top of Bohannon. Almost got the roll. Saints will keep it alive under the basket.
The Saints' pressure on defense and the way they're playing right now is encouraging the Jets to shoot some quick ones. The Jets need to settle down, get a little more patient as we see Upshaw Jr. off the bounce, attack the rim, use the glass with no luck as Halou comes up with another offensive rebound for the Saints.
Gets around Bohannon, but he doesn't get around Salmon, who thumps that one away, and just like that, he may finish it, he does. How about that from Nathaniel Salmon? Wow. Young man, take a bow. From one end to the other. Gets some pats on the head as he's acknowledged heading back to the bench. The Saints want a timeout. Nathaniel Salmon.
And there's that athletic ability we're talking about, able to pin that shot against the backboard, get down the floor quick and get the offensive rebound, tip it in to keep the scoreboard ticking over, albeit slowly for the Jets.
Well, no doubt Coach Natu Taufale demanded some energy from his team at quarter time. And young Nathaniel Salmon has come out and delivered in spades for his coach. Miles Pearce here with us today on Sky Sport. Justin Nelson with you. Hope you're enjoying it. Round 13 action in the Sal's NBL. And Miles, tell us a little bit about the Salmon brothers.
Look, they're out of Porirua. Both have been, well, all the Salmons have been involved in the Basketball New Zealand program over the years, and it's been, they're a great family, and you can see here is that athletic ability. Catch that, put it on the backboard, start the break.
He started from the last position on the court there and finished.
Tips that in with his left hand. And it's, as I mentioned before, it's that effort and the consistent effort and the consistent effort on the defensive end and the glass that will be more impressive for Coach Taufale as we see Francis Mulvihill knock down another triple for the Saints.
They move to 40 in the game. Still 6 minutes to play in this second quarter.
Just making every catch really hard. Everything is contested right now for the Jets.
Here's Momosia. Steps back on when he had a Mulvihill. Thought he was going to get the drop then. Not forthcoming. Oh, how's the handles? Xavier Cooks into the corner. When he had a Mulvihill's already hit one from there. Second one, not as kind.
As we see Momosia get deep into the lane in transition, pick up the foul, and one.
Good signs there for Paif Momosia. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay here. Almost lost control of it there. Was able to reel it back in and finish hard to the basket. In the end, was just going too fast for everyone else.
And he showed that last year for Otago and again now for the Jets this season. That turn of speed can be very impressive from Momosia.
32-4 start by the Saints here this afternoon. And it's now a 12-8 run by the Jets in this second quarter.
A little bit shell-shocked to start, but it's good to see them settle. Let's see what they can generate with this zone defense here.
Here's Hilu to Natai to Cooks. Weighs up his options, takes on three of them and beats three Jets. Xavier Cooks, 22 points a game.
And
here's Momosia, can't finish. Cooks cleaning it up.
Cooks coming off an outstanding season in the Australian League, and it's just going to be almost a question of when will we see him in an NBA jersey. The way he's played here, the way he played in the Australian League, as he gets fouled, hit on the elbow, and gets a trip to the Racine foul line. But the question of when will we see Cooks in an NBA jersey, but not really if.
I think that's a fair call. There's a lot of people who certainly agree with you, Miles. And I reckon right now, if you compiled the top 20 plays of the Sal's NBL 2022 season, Xavier Cooks would probably feature.
He'd probably have a couple.
Well, 7 or 8 maybe. He's got the ability to deliver highlight after highlight. At the Racine line now. 2 from 2 on that occasion. And he continues to dominate. Natai, a brilliant effort to get the steal in the first place. And then the secondary effort to try and keep it in was just as good.
As the Saints question what's going on with the shot clock here. There was a reset.
No doubt the question is whether there was full possession there for Ngatai, which I think everyone's happy with the end result. Shot clock's at 20, so some pressure on the Jets to get it across halfway, which they do.
Just in the nick of time as we see Crawford drive baseline, find Collis. Collis put it to the floor and get in, finding an open teammate on the wing as we see Klein salmon tip go, but John Bahannon tipping it in, doing what he does best, keeping the ball alive on the offensive glass.
Well, there's nothing pretty about this at the moment for the Jets, but they have found a way to get some points in this second quarter, much to the happiness of the Green Army.
The 1-3-1 zone's really thrown the Saints into a little bit of a not necessarily turmoil, but definitely slowed them down, slowed that scoring down. And the Jets have actually found a way to make some baskets, which is always a good thing when you're down, as we see Tamara check back in and Collis check out. Mulvihill check back out as well.
Results so far in round 13, Saints over the Hawks by 27. And the Sharks last night bringing the Airs back from their lofty perch. I think they'd won 5 in a row heading into that game.
And something that I think the Jets and the Sharks and a couple of other teams further down that may be in a fight for that position 6 is just play spoiler.
Well, the Sharks are definitely doing that. They knocked off the Tuatara last week in Auckland, and then that win 81-74 over the Airs last night. Good news for Airs fans is they get to back it up pretty quickly. They take on the Nuggets tomorrow afternoon. Turnover, Saints, here they come. They've got the numbers 4-on-2. And in the end, came off the body of Klein Salmon, the pass from Dane Samuel.
You see Famasili check back into the game.
Here's Kenneth Tuffin in the corner.
And the Jets have gone to the zone, but they've fallen asleep on a couple of out of bounds. They lost Cooks down the middle. They've lost, they lost Tuffin in the corner just then. They need to do a better job just finding guys and being aware, because that's just too easy.
Foul on the Saints. Dane Samuel. He's had a big season, going at just under 18 points a game. A couple of triples per game as well. Can get a crowd going. We've seen that many times, especially at TSB Bank Arena. There he is. Dane Samuel taps it to himself. Off to the races. Dougal Meter for 3. That might be his 3rd triple of the game.
Former Palmerston North Boys High School and Manawatu Jet knocking down 3rd triple, getting out and running. And he's aware that he's got a role to play, and I think that's something that the Saints coaching staff and team has done so well. They know who's who on their team, and they know their job. They're not trying to do anything out of it. It's a very simple game for them. We know who's going to be doing what, and it's just an absolute joy to see as we see Ngatai take Bahannon off the dribble, get all the way to the cup for a 2.
And still a couple of minutes to play in this half. They're already out to 52 in the game. For Armour Silly to the basket for 2.
Former junior tall black going all the way, getting a little, probably one of the easiest baskets the Jets will have tonight.
There's Dane Samuel for 3.
There's that breakdown on defense. The way the Saints are shooting, Jets need to be locked into where everyone is every single second on the defensive end of the floor.
Bahannon now. 55-20. What an opening half from the Saints. Bahannon with the easy path to the basket.
We see the Saints fall asleep there. A couple of players looking at each other, palms upturned.
Just over 60 seconds to play. Tuffin for another triple. Well, Kenneth Tuffin is well and truly enjoying his afternoon in Palmerston North. The Saints captain is Crawford.
It's probably not the only Saint to be enjoying the afternoon here in Manawatu.
Oh no, they're all having fun at the moment. Toughen again, why not? Fires away and makes again. Just a little bit of a smile on the way back down the floor as well for KT.
And this is the situation that Coach Tafale finds himself in. The Saints going on a little run here, but burning both timeouts early in the first quarter. Unable to stop this run here as we see Nathaniel Salmon check back into the game, who's been very impressive in his minutes so far.
4 triples in the game for Kenneth Tuffin. 14 already in the game for the Saints. Don't forget, they had that record 29 triples last year against the Bulls. And I reckon right now, Miles, that might be in serious danger.
They've already made a dozen more threes here this afternoon.
14 of 22 they are.
And as we mentioned, the worst part of the game for the Saints right now is only 50% from the foul line, the Rosine foul line.
Well, they've got some work to do. Here's Shane Temida, speaking of the coloured stripe. Knocks down the first. Just 4 points for the Jets in the opening quarter. Much better in this second quarter, but it's an open path to the basket back the other way at the moment. Saints on track for their biggest score of the season by some way, you would think, if they keep this sort of scoring up. Hippolyte into the game now. Tuffin. Corner knocked out by Crawford.
The Saints right now are just a little more patient in executing offense and a little more willing to throw an extra pass, and it's generating some absolutely amazing shots for them, and to their credit, they're knocking them down.
Shooting at 58% from the field, 63% from beyond the arc.
As we see a kick ball there. Tim Brown signaling for the shot clock to be reset, so only a couple of seconds difference. Let's see how the Saints use this time. 16 assists
in this first half for the Saints as well. Here's Hippolyte. He'll try and score. But Hannon with the big reach. They may get the last shot up of the half. They don't. But it's a half that has well and truly belonged to the visitors. And it's not just any visitor. It is the hard-charging 12-time champs, the reigning 2021 Sal's NBL champs. Coming from a long way back this season, but right now, with 4 wins from their last 5 games, they are on a serious charge. They're inside the top 6, and they are out to a 37-point lead at the half here. Let's head down to the sideline and catch up with Kenneth Tuffin.
KT, explosive first quarter from you guys. Unbelievable shooting performance. Already 14, 15 made threes. How are you guys going to keep this going in the second half?
We just have to focus on our stuff, you know. Jets are good defensively, so we just want to keep on punishing them when they're collapsing into the paint, and we'll just keep getting those open shots.
Awesome, congratulations. Good luck for the second. Nathaniel, impressive first half from you. Great effort on the glass. Loving that pin and get down the floor and finish. How are you guys going to tidy this up and peg back some scores?
I think we need to lock up on defense and 6-wide coverages. They're shooting the ball really at the moment, and I think if we can sort that out, we can get back into this game.
They are. You guys have had a couple of breakdowns on defense. How do you pick up the communication there?
Oh, we got to talk louder, bro. Especially on those screen coverages, they're killing us.
Awesome. Good luck for the second half.
Impressive youngster, Nathaniel Salmon. He and his Jets teammates, and maybe even Benny the Bear. Everyone's got to chip in this second half. A lot of work to do for the Manawatu Jets this afternoon. Round 13 action in the Sal's NBL. Halftime, the Saints lead the Jets by 37. Stats coming up on the other side of the break. Don't go away.
work. All right, now we have Anomaly Dance Studio on the floor to entertain for a couple of minutes. Let's give it up for Anomaly. Let's go, Pamela, make some noise for Anomaly!
Rich. We'll do the singlet during half time, and also I'll allude to the final six as well. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Alright, now I saw a couple of people dressed up. Going to score themselves the basketball. Where are they? There's a little bit, yeah. Girls want to score at the start, right? Alright.
Welcome back to the ballroom here in Palmerston North. Round 13 action in the Sal's NBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. Packed house here today. The Green Army in big numbers, although that looks like Jamie Nard sitting in the crowd. The Tokomanawa Queens.
Here to watch Reggie.
The Saints and the Jets in action this afternoon, and the Saints lead it by 37. Miles Pearce, your thoughts?
It has been just an absolute shooting display from that Wellington Saints. As we see, the point spread very even. We mentioned the number of guys in double figures. What's impressive there is Dougal Meter with 3 points, 3 triples for him. Guys kicking in on the glass. Bohannon, Leet doing what he does best and leading the way with 6 rebounds.
Look at Jordan Nartai with the assists. 9 in the first half.
Big point guard doing his thing. And I think Nartai has sacrificed a lot as we come up with the blocks there. Nathaniel Salmon, Tom Vidonovic, and Nathaniel Salmon's a very memorable one. Steals, not too many in the game, but going back to Nartai's assists, he's probably one of the guys that sacrificed the most in terms of his scoring. One of the guys was his Stan there, father of Marnie Dougal Meter.
You're pretty happy with what he's seen so far.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But Nartai sort of sacrificing some scoring there, as we mentioned, all the guys they have in double figures. And Nartai, not one of them, just a tick under 10 points. But his ability to contribute in other ways is absolutely huge for the Saints.
Earlier here today, of course, these two teams came together prior to tip-off. And The Manawatu Jets retired singlet number 12 in memory of Jake McKinley. It was a touching tribute before the game. Here's some vision from earlier on. A lot of family and friends, current players, former players, school buddies. You can see everybody standing, acknowledging, respecting and applauding. It was a great sight, and really pleased that we could be a part of it here. The kids, they're still enjoying themselves. Their Jets have got some work to do. Can they come back and cause a boil over, or are we going to see the Saints continue their charging ways towards the final 6 in season 2022? Second half not too far away, right here on Sky Sport.
We need to move 1 minute on the court. So you need to move super quick. So when I say those 4, you need to come straight down. Well, actually, come over by me in the last minute. Any volunteers wanting to take part in the last game? Oh, are you taller than me? Guess what? Yeah, that's true then. I need to try to make it fair at all. Stand up. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. One more. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to explain to you right now what you're going to do. So I don't need to explain later because we're limited time, alright? So, little dude over on the far side, if you're listening, make sure to listen up. I'm going to have some prizes in the centre court. Each person is going to be one in each corner. When I say go, you're going to run and grab a prize. Do you remember steal the eggs from the basket at school? Yeah? You must be able to remember. I can remember that way back. Alright? So you're going to take a prize, take it back to your basket. Then you run, grab another prize. You keep going. Where's the other guy? You keep going until all the prizes are gone, and then you steal off each other. I don't normally encourage stealing. Don't steal in normal life. That's bad, alright? But in this case you can. So you'll take the prize, take it back. Whatever you're left with at the end, you get to keep. Alright? Understand? Cool? Cool, Cameron? Got that? Got that? Got that? Alright. I'll kind of give you another briefing later, but get your head around that. Start stretching, warming up, alright? Rightio. Oh, while I'm over here, I might as well give you some lollies. You ready? Watch your heads. Yeah, Craig and Laurie. School bench gets some. They work hard. Yeah. All right, right up the back.
Game 1 of a big triple header on Sky Sport this afternoon and this evening. Make sure you stick with us after this as we head down south to Christchurch Arena for a huge double header. GJ Gardner-Holmes Ta'ihi Basketball Aotearoa from 5 p.m. Puakai up against the Kahu. And then 7:30 p.m. tonight in the Sal's End, the Rams and the Giants go head-to-head. And if my maths is correct, Miles Pearce, the Giants win that, they cannot lose top spot. And they head into the final 6, ranked number 1. Speaking of the final 6, tickets go on sale 8 a.m. Monday morning, eventfinder.co.nz. Make sure you join us August 10 to 13 at Event Finder Stadium on the North Shore. The final 6 is set to be an absolute thriller.
I'm absolutely loving this format. We've got top 6 for the first time. It's going to be very, very impressive and a great venue, and hopefully going to be some unbelievably good teams as we see a number.
We don't know who's going to be there yet.
Well, that's the thing. Unbelievably good teams that are still fighting it out, and this is going to go down all the way as we see Cooks get all the way to the basket. Took a bit of a whack to the head as Tim Brown calls that one there.
Well, Giants are safe. Ayers didn't win last night, but, you know, without looking at the ladder at the moment, I think they're pretty good. What are your thoughts from there? I mean, certainly the Saints right now are scaring everybody, and they still do have the Giants and the Tuatara to play, and they sit ahead of them on the ladder, but on current form...
On current form, I would be very nervous if I was the Tuatara. And the Tuatara have got some firepower of their own, but what we've seen a couple of not even 2 weeks ago, with 19 made threes in a game, and right here we've got 14 made threes at halftime from the Saints. What they're doing to other teams right now is really tough.
In one game this year, earlier this season, the Saints put up a season high 49. Oh, big triple there for the Jets.
And that's
Salmon.
Only their second made three. Half-time, 1 of 13, compared to the Saints' 14 of 22. As we see Nate take advantage of his size and strength over Mamasea, kicking out. Samuel knocking down another one.
Well, that's number 15. They had 49 three-point attempts earlier this season, the Saints.
If you're going to shoot them this well, why not shoot more of them?
Well, as I said, they've got 15 now in the game. So some baskets either way to start this third quarter. You can see how much the Saints are leading this one by this afternoon. Here's the Dane Samuel triple, and that is assist number 10 for Jordan Nate. Wouldn't mind going back through the record books. I'm sure he's had double-digit assists in the past. Jordan Nate, he's had a long and illustrious career, the Prince of Porirua, but he may be on the mark at the moment towards a PB at age 29.
And there's always room for improvement, right? But I think you're right there. His ability right now to lead this group, use his size and strength at the point guard position, as we see Momasea struggle to contain him.
And that might be nearly assist.
What are his teammates doing
Number
to
11.
him?
Here is Momasea, hands it back to Crawford, who's been well held. Gets to the basket for 2, Robert Crawford, and that is his first points of the game. That's how well held he has been.
One of the things in the last few games for the Saints that has been impressive has been the improvement in defense, and we see the Jets tidy up a rebound and get going in transition.
Crawford just hit a basket. This time he turns it over straight to Upshaw Jr. Vidanovic, Nate back into Vidanovic, and he can't scoop it up and put it away. An easy basket by his own standards. Crawford fires away. Vidanovic with another rebound. Impressed by the crowd here today at the Ballroom. Hardly a spare seat. They've come out in big numbers to see their Jets off in their final home game of the season.
Vidanovic misfires, and Dane Samuel able to keep it alive, gets Upshaw Jr. another attempted triple. I dare say they missed a couple in a row.
Just the one game left in season 2022 for the Jets. They'll travel to play the Hawks. Robert Crawford will be travelling with them, and that's his second basket of the game.
And once again, not a long drive from Manawatu over to the Bay, but that will be a big game, particularly with implications on the top 6. Hawke's Bay really need a win. They probably need a couple of wins to make sure that they can lock into that top 6 spot, sitting at 5th now at 8-8. so many teams tussling for position as we see the replay here. Ngatai trying to use the Samuel screen.
Are you prepared, Miles, to even guess it? Who misses the top 6? Sharks and Jets, obviously. But 2 more teams will have to miss. Dane Samuel. Just cheeky grin on his face as he nails yet another triple.
Can I give you an answer to your question at the end of the Sal's NBL game tonight? Because I think that's going to have a huge impact as we see Tamara knock down a 3.
The Rams and the Giants tonight?
Rams, Giants, that's a big game.
Mind you, tomorrow's Nuggets and Airs and Bulls and Tuatara, I'd probably ask you to wait 24 hours and have a chat with me tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a deal right there.
Jordan Ngatai off the glass.
So many big games coming up in the Sal's NBL.
Pretty exciting stuff. And we're halfway through the Taihi season as well, as Crawford hits the back of the iron.
And haven't the Kahu been impressive?
Yeah, they have. 6 straight wins. They're in action straight after this game this afternoon. Xavier Cooks, hop, skip and a jump to the basket. Makes it look so effortless as always. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay. Look at this. He just hangs up there as he adds another 2 points this afternoon. 15 in the game now for Xavier Cooks.
Klein Salmon just getting his feet a little stuck, crossed over, whichever way you want to look at it. But the length and size, skill of Cooks, able to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim and make from the Racine foul line.
Already 4 players in double digits for the Saints here this afternoon.
Crawford getting to almost his preferred mid-range game, but contested by Tom Vodanovic there.
Jet shooting at just 30%. Opening quarter, Vodanovic made it look harder than what it needed to be in the end.
I almost think that a couple of these Saints guys overheard us talking about Jordan Ngatai's impressive assist performance at halftime as we see Momosea knock down a triple. And just missing a couple of those passes from Ngatai just to rub salt in the wound.
There's Vodanovic firing away, and that's what he does, Tommy V. Misses probably what he should have finished underneath. Comes straight back down and has another crack. Just love the way he goes about his basketball, Tom Vodanovic. Good defense, Kenneth Tuffin on Crawford. In the end, Crawford wins out.
Good defense, but better offense from Crawford. Vodanovic has played at extremely high levels, played in the Australian League, being a tall black. He's not going to let a miss bother him. And I think that's a trait of some unbelievably good shooters.
16 in the game he has. Ngatai, a rare error in this game this afternoon. He has been very good, Jordan Ngatai. Just the 4 points, but 10 assists. And as you've just alluded to, Miles Pearce probably should be up around 13 or 14 if his teammates were taking better care of him.
Missed a couple of chippies around the basket, but it's been an impressive outing from the Saints so far. Bench points, 20 plus bench points, 16 assists at the half, and as we mentioned, those 14 made threes, which is now up to 16 or 17.
We're not too far away from awards season in the Sal's NBL. Of course, the MVP is just one of those awards. People quite often ask, how does the MVP work? After every game in the Sal's NBL, the 2 coaches vote for 5 players who they deem to be the best in that game. They allocate votes 5 for the best down to 1 for the 5th best. They must include 2 opposition players. Doesn't matter where they put them, but must include 2 opposition players. And then all of those votes get collated week after week. And then at the end of the regular season, the top 10 vote getters, voted on by the coaches from the season, the top 10 vote getters then go through to a final vote with a panel of 15, which includes the 10 coaches again and 5 independent people who have seen, obviously, a lot of the Sal's NBL during season 2022. and they then re-vote for those top 10, and that's how you come up with the MVP.
And there's going to be some very worthy candidates this year.
Well, I explained all of that. Robert Crawford fouled by Dougal Meter. I explained all of that to all of the viewers, because my next question to you, Miles Pearce, is who do you like for the MVP at the moment?
Well, I'm going to go with Reggie Upshaw Jr.
For the season MVP?
No, just because he came in and he's turned the Saints around. He's playing here today.
Almost fell off my chair then.
He has made a huge difference. Look,
I don't know that he'll get enough votes to make the top 10.
I know. But Cooks has been unbelievably impressive.
Yes.
Jared West has been amazing. Rob Lowe has been absolutely. There's too many guys
Anthony
at the moment.
Hilliard, Javonte Douglas.
That's one of the best 1-2 combos in the league at the moment, as we see Tamara take that away from Upshaw Jr. Ngatai finishes easily at the hoop with his right hand.
Well, if his teammates aren't finishing for him,
he's got to do the job himself.
I do like Javonte Douglas and Jared West, but you've added a couple of others. Xavier Cooks, obviously. Bohannon missed on the first effort. Finishes on the second. Speaking of awards, John Bohannon, you would think from here would get the top rebounder of the season. He's led the way the whole way. And Temida again getting another block. Crawford to the basket. And the crowd here at the Ballroom is finding something to cheer about.
And it's a great little stretch that the Jets have put together, particularly the group that they've got is just locking in on defense and being a little bit better, as we see Cooks hand off to Meter, unable to connect on the wing three. Crawford off and running again.
23-18 run by the Jets in this quarter. There he is, right there with him. Xavier Cooks with the block. And off he comes. The 6'10" Gazelle is fouled.
Unfortunately for Nathaniel Salmon, picking up a foul in transition there. Probably a good one with Cooks with a full head of steam, getting downhill at the rim like that.
16.6 rebounds, 5 assists for Xavier Cooks today. Here's Troy McLean in the coach's chair since about mid-season when the Saints made a change. Won a championship with the Saints last season, of course. Troy McLean called out of retirement. Not sure that he ever retired officially, but
Troy always kept himself in unbelievable shape, and when a couple of injuries pre-season happened and asked Coach Zika Coronel that what can I do, the answer came back, play, as we see Tuffin go down hard.
Fouled by Robert Crawford. Wasn't a lot in that. Just at pace coming together. You'll see it here, just a slight touch there. No doubt about the foul.
A little bit of an awkward landing.
He's been impressive this afternoon, Kenneth Tuffin. You heard from him at halftime. The Saints skipper, the lefty, gets the roll.
And probably one of those guys that has sacrificed some scoring for the betterment of the group. Definitely a very capable shooter, what we've seen throughout his NZNBL career, and it's going to be an amazing thing to see him progress through and as his role changes in this group.
Well, there's no doubt that change, Walker Miller out, Reggie Upshaw Jr. in, has been a very intelligent piece of work from the Saints hierarchy.
Walker Miller added some size and length and rebounding, as we see Momosia get stuck at halfway against the Wellington Saints trap. But the versatility of Upshaw Jr., the ability to handle the ball, shoot the ball, has made a huge impact on this Saints offense right from his very first game.
Timeout late in this third quarter. Saints leading by 34.
Come over here because we will be on.
And always tough in these situations when you've got a fairly big lead early on. What can you do to chip away? And alternatively for the Saints, what can you do to keep that lead as large as you can?
17 of 29 from long range today for the Saints, still going at 58% beyond the arc, leading the rebounds 34 to 31. They've already racked up 19 assists in this game. Ngatai has 10 of those.
As we see former Tall Black Nick Horvath and Gavin Cross. He's working with the Tokomanawa Queens.
Saw a number of the Queens in the crowd earlier on. They're back in action on Monday night. They take on the Phi. 7 p.m. out at Te Rapara Arena in Porirua. Make sure you get along and enjoy that. It's a lot of fun at a Queens game.
They do an amazing job. Probably one of the best jobs I've seen, just putting on a show. Queens E doing a thing. Great extra pass with Danovic out of the corner as we see Mulvihill try and finish high off the glass. Can't get it to go.
And he'll get picked up for the foul here as well.
But the Phi have been playing some good basketball. The Queens have been playing some good basketball. I think that's going to be a really good matchup there in Porirua.
Tiana Clark out for the Phi for that game. She's with the 3x3 Tall Ferns. In fact, there you go, Jamie Nard. Just
checking in on
Reggie.
The
phone, yep.
Making sure Reggie's doing the right thing.
Hasn't she been in some wonderful form as well? Jamie Nard in. GJ Gardner-Holmes Ta'ihi. Jets, Salmon trying to keep it alive. Vodanovic, Kenneth Tuffin. Another basket for the Saints here this afternoon.
I think the Saints got a little lucky on that one. Lev Tamara, who's been shooting the ball very well all season, and Nathaniel Salmon able to almost keep that alive on the offensive board as we see Crawford lose the handle. Saints come up with another one, they're off to the races.
Yeah, here they come again. Dane Samuel in the corner, winning out of Mulvihill. Loose ball, look at Tuffin get after it with Momosia. Ends up with Vodanovic. And in the end, I reckon Robert Crawford has just fallen across the baseline there.
Look,
unlucky.
I love the effort getting on the floor. Up big and up a lot. And the effort there to try and save a ball. He could have let that go, and I think that's the sort of effort that the Saints have had in this stretch of games that they had, as we mentioned, 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. And barring anything ridiculous here, it's going to be 4 in a row and 5 of their last 6.
In and out for Vodanovic, winning out of Mulvihill with the nice little floater. They move to 85.
We saw a big scoring display from the Airs earlier in the season against the Manawatu Jets as Salmon takes it hard to the rim, fouled by Samuel in the process. The scoring record for a team may be in jeopardy here.
Talking about Jamie Nard just a short time ago, who we saw in the crowd. When was the last time we saw a pick 13 WNBA player here in New Zealand playing basketball? You won't have to think too long about the answer to that, by the way.
But what an absolute unbelievable influence we've got from the WNBA this year. Players and coaches.
Yes. Number of WNBA drafted players. You talked about the Queens and the Phi on Monday night. Of course, Nikki Green, who plays for the Phi, also having played in the WNBA. Great pass inside, Dougal Meter to Vodanovic. And
I'm going to throw it out there that Chagas, who has been drafted as well.
Drafted at age 20.
Just an amazing player. And I'm loving watching the Queens game based on some of the things that she can do alone.
Well, people talk about European basketball and how good that is. She's been playing pro league basketball in Europe since the age of 15.
Crawford misses the step back. Collis fighting there as the clock's expiring.
They'll get this up in time. Maybe on the buzzer. can't add to their score. But at three-quarter time, this one completely belongs with the Saints this afternoon. Here's that final shot. They lead 87-49. 1 quarter to play. Don't go away if you're a Saints fan. Final 6 continues to look better and better with every game.
They steal off each other. Learn your yard, one of the same. You can start stealing.
That's the first quarter. That's the first quarter.
Take the bag.
Not even quarter time.
9 goals, 3. Wow.
There's the crowd mind voucher. And I'll just chuck these in here as well. There's 2 more in the middle. You're not allowed to guard, Cameron. Not allowed to guard. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Get that crowd mind voucher. 5, 4, 3. You don't got it. Stop. Nice work, guys. Nice work. She got it. She got it. All right, grab your stuff. Leave your deck over at the table, guys. Leave your back at the table. Grab your stuff. Nice work. You got all yours? Where's little guy gone? Oh, there. You move quick. All right. What'd you get? You got that?
Three-quarter time here at the Ballroom, Palmerston North this afternoon. Saints leading the way here, and they look set for a big win this afternoon. Round 13 action in the NZNBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. 87-49 is the scoreline. Justin Nelson with you, alongside me, Miles Pearson. Miles, what are you looking for from the Jets here in this last quarter?
Look, they've done a great job. 10 offensive rebounds so far in the game. They're not shooting the ball particularly well. That's an area that they can keep attacking, as we see Luca Richards come up with another offensive rebound. Tamara there with another second effort. If you're not shooting the ball well, go get on the glass.
And I reckon Temida is off to the Resine here. Being held by Dougal Meter. So Temida will go to the coloured stripe. Quarter time, Saints led 32-4. In the opening quarter, the Jets shot 2 of 22. Saints won the second quarter by 9. And for a long time, it looked like the Jets were going to win that third period. The Saints, in the end, pipping the Jets 26-25.
Look, the Jets aren't going to win this game. But what can they do to keep building on habits? They've got a young group. I imagine that the organisation is going to try and keep as many of the young guys together as possible. So what can you do to try and build on those habits for future games and future seasons?
Turnover. Good defence by Luca Richards. Dangerous pass for Amosili. Right in front of us. I thought you were going to catch that then, Miles.
Thankfully, some of the score bench have got better reflexes than I do.
I felt well protected. Jets to keep possession. For Amosili now. Looking to attack, buries his head. Comes up short with the shot. Temida underneath, just finding some room to end up getting a shot around Dane Samuel. He's had a great season, Shane Temida.
And as you mentioned, possibly up for the Sixth Man of the Year award, even if he has to make it himself and present it to himself.
Well, I think he's definitely putting the pressure on the league to start a Sixth Man of the Year award. No time like the present. Mind you, Sean Willett would be right there with him. Winnie had a Mulvihill getting up, but how about the block from Luca Richards? Crowd loved that one, And here he is with some space. Saints wanted to travel. Jets with a chance to get some points. Shot clock at 10. Temida up and over the top of Dougal Meter.
And it's good to see the Jets pick out a mismatch and really attack it there. With all the matchup problems that the Saints have given the Jets, it's good to see the Jets be able to flip and reverse that as we see another turnover from the Saints. A couple of turnovers in a couple of possessions. Something that Coach McLean will want to tidy up.
Well, this is a great opportunity for the Saints to get some good minutes into those further down the bench. They've already got the split on the Jets. They're going to win this game quite comfortably. No need to play the likes of Vidanovic and Cooks and Nartai. I see Samuel still out there. Collis with the 3 there.
It's good to see Collis able to come off the bench and contribute.
Of course, no Mike Smith today. Didn't play against the Hawks on Thursday either. Back in Wellington with an illness.
And we wish him well. Hope he recovers quickly. Now, you mentioned the head-to-head stuff. How many teams, as we see Famasili score, and Coach Troy McLean's seen enough of that. How many of the teams are going to be worried about the head-to-head matchups and points for and against as we fight for the top 6? A couple of teams on 9 wins, a couple of teams on 8 wins, 3 teams on 7 wins.
Well, the Bulls and the Tuatara play tomorrow, of course. The Rams and the Hawks still have to play each other a second time. I know the Giants and Saints have to play, but head-to-head won't matter between those two because the Giants will definitely win more games for the season. The Saints have still got to play against the Tuatara. I mean, the Tuatara at the moment sits second on the ladder, but they could very quickly tumble. Not sure if we can bring the ladder up on screen for you, but it is just so tight once you get past the Giants. I mean, there you go. The Tuatara sitting in second, 9-7. The Bulls are in 7th, 7-7. I mean, it is unbelievable. The Sal's NBL ladder with just 2 regular season rounds remaining, heading down to the Rams in 8th. The Sharks in their last 2 games have beaten the Tuatara and the Airs, and they can continue to knock off teams above them over the next couple of weeks.
And one of the advantages the Bulls have is they've got a couple of games in hand on some other teams. So even though they are 7-7.
They have, but in the last round, they've got the southern swing against the Sharks and the Nuggets.
So the games in hand are very, very tough games to get.
Mind you, a few teams have got the southern swing this season, so it's definitely not impossible. Is Tuffin going to work inside?
Able to finish with his left hand over the top of Nathaniel Salmon.
So you look at that ladder and you think about head-to-heads and all that sort of stuff, all the permutations. Temida with the putback. I've got no idea how it's going to finish. And that's the beauty of what we're looking at the moment this season. We could end up with mini ladders all over the place. And I'm not even going to try and explain to our viewers at the moment how all of that works, other than to say there's going to be a lot of very nervous people over the last few games this season. Big triple. Dougal Meter. I think that's his 5th of the game, Miles.
Dougal Meter played a number of games here for Palmerston North Boys High School and the Jets, knocking down his 4th triple. He'd be accustomed to playing here in Manawatu and here on this court at the Ballroom. As you see Collis get knocked around like a little pinball in with the big boys. Hippolyte picks up the foul.
This win set up by the Saints with a power pack start today. 32-4 run in the opening quarter. There's the foul. Puakai and Kahu to come shortly on Sky Sport after this. Big doubleheader from Christchurch Arena. Tommy Vidanovic off the glass for 2. Rams and Giants coming up later tonight. All that action from down south with Hugh Bainan and Phil Jones. How about that for a basket from young Luca Richards? He's done some nice things today.
He has indeed. You mentioned Chagas turning pro at 15 and being able to play an international flavour. We're seeing more and more young Kiwi guys getting an opportunity here in the Sal's NBL as we see another triple go down for the Saints.
That is number 5.
That is number 5.
I was one ahead of myself about 30 seconds ago, but he now has 5 of them this afternoon, does Mani Dougal-Meter. 15 points in the game. All of his shots have come from beyond the arc. He has 5 of 7 from downtown. Timeout here, just over 5 to play. Look at those Saints. Last 5 games, they have scored in triple digits. The only team this season to put a run like that together. And there's clearly no doubt that's going to extend to 6 in a row.
And the only question is, can they catch the Airs record of 130, 131 points?
Good question. It was about that, 131. And that was against the Jets, by the way. In fact, in that run of 5 games where they've scored in triple digits, there's only one team they've lost to. Who was that team?
That is a great question.
It was the Airs.
At home.
Yep, it was. At TSB Bank Arena.
Hilliard was very impressive in that game.
Indeed he was.
He's been impressive in a number of games, to be fair.
These Saints, over the last 6 rounds, they knew the job that was ahead of them after a slow start. It was indifferent. They had players missing, waiting for players to return. It was a very hodgepodge situation for the Saints over the first 6 rounds. I mean, we can't forget their opening round of the season against the Sharks and the Nuggets. The baby Saints, they were dubbed. And they copped 2 massive losses on the road. Far more silly stepping around.
Some fancy footwork, can't get that to go. You mentioned that double header to start for the Saints. Very low on numbers. You know, they had a number of guys, a number of disruptions coming in throughout that first few rounds of the season. And they were hugely advantaged by the amount of talent that they could bring in over and over again throughout this season. And the last piece of the puzzle was Upshaw Jr.
Kenneth Tuffin with another couple of points. He has 20 in the game now. Equal game high with Tom Vodanovic. Here's a long shot from Salmon. Hilou comes up with it. He can earn some good minutes down the stretch here. Goes into the corner. Look out. Dougal-Meter. That one a little bit too deep. Hilou keeps it alive. Played for the Sharks last season. Finishes off the glass. Triple figures yet again for the Saints as Johnny Hilou heads to the Racine. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay. We know he's got a wicked burst of speed off the wing, Johnny Hilou. We've seen that a number of times during his young career.
He's blown a little bit, limited court time in the last few weeks, as you mentioned, through injury. So it's great to see him back out there on the floor.
We can see the guard he has on his right hand, returning from a break. There it is. If you've just joined us, speaking of broken bones in the hand, Zain Najdawi not playing this afternoon, not playing for the rest of the season. He is here though, sitting on the Jets bench, but with a fractured hand.
As we see the Saints go deeper into their bench.
Salmon, nice jumper, Klein Salmon. Hilou again with that speed and with another perfect finish.
And I know he hasn't played, but you've got to be aware of guys that have been in the league for a number of years. Prefers to drive, wants to put the ball on the floor and get into the paint. And he's just getting beat off the dribble. Like, the Jets need to know who's doing what. As we see Klein Salmon miss a 3, Vodanovic come up with it and get the break going.
Tom Gold now for 3. That one in and out. Vodanovic had it and lost it on the rebound. Patello Lopepe coming in for the Jets. Crowd getting to see plenty of faces here this afternoon from both teams as they go deep into their benches. There's Tabor, Gold. Back to Tabor, great pass inside to Tom Gold. Nice basket there from the young Saints.
Evie able to create something for his young teammate Tom Gold.
Salmon. Here is the player who's just come onto the floor. Lopepe, who's pulled up for the offensive charge.
Momosia checking back into the game for Isaac Famasili. Just a little bit of experience there to try and steady this yet young Jet squad. And it's great to see some of these young guys get some minutes, get some experience.
I've got no doubt that some of the guys who will be enjoying themselves right now are sitting on that Saints bench. Travel called. And I say that because whilst they've been in this fight-back mode over the last 5 or 6 weeks, they've had to play some big minutes. Darnay Samuel, Tom Vodanovic, Xavier Cooks, Jordan Nartai. They've had to play big, heavy minutes over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and they get the chance this afternoon to sit back and cheer on the guys that have been helping them out at trainings and all that sort of stuff. They'll be enjoying this, the Saints leaders.
I think they will, and it's a credit to them to give the young guys an opportunity the way they played in the first half and in particularly the first quarter.
Hilou with the miss, Salmon with the rebound. It's not often that you'll see the faces that are currently on the Saints bench all sitting there at the same time, it must be said. Very rare sight indeed.
But what I do love to see is the way they are reacting to every success that their teammates are having. They are absolutely amped. A shot goes up, they're up and cheering. A shot goes in, it's even louder.
Momosia kicks it back out. The Salmon with a triple. We like some of the things we've seen from Nathaniel Salmon this afternoon as we head inside the last 90 seconds of a game that has well and truly belonged to the Saints. On the back of a couple of big results against the Hawks. Momosia. Salmon with the rebound. He's fouled and he'll take a trip to the Racine line in the dying seconds of this contest.
And one of his better Nathaniel Salmon's one of his better rebounding games. And that's an area where I think he can really impact the game and have such a positive effect. I was lucky to play with and then coach former Tall Black Nick Horvath. And that was something that he always said, it's one of the most unselfish things you can do is go rebound for your team.
Just saw Zane Najdawi there on the bench. And if you thought Johnny Hilou had a cap on his hand, Najdawi certainly got a little bit more attention on his right hand. Shame for the Jets that they won't get to see him again this season. You talked about his stats earlier, Miles. He's had a very good season, Zane Najdawi.
Yeah, 17 and 10, and it's not just the 17 and 10 that the Jets are probably missing. It's his physicality, it's his toughness inside, it's his experience, it's his leadership, and all those factors come into what you see now on the scoreboard, and particularly in that first quarter, he's a guy that they can really throw the ball to and get a great look inside or get a trip to the Racine foul line. You see Loa Pepe try and create some, get stuck in the corner.
Well done to Dougal Meter to effect the steal, and he may end up with another shot from deep. He does, and he makes it. That's his 6th. So Marnie Dougal Meter, 6 triples in this game. Got a feeling the microphone might be finding its way to him. Nathaniel Salmon with the finish. And the Saints with a 39-point lead, which will just about do us here for a Saturday afternoon at the Ballroom. Not one person has left their seat either. Great crowd in attendance. That's a high floating shot from Evie Tabor. But it is the last shot of the game. It's a game that has belonged to the Wellington Saints. It's been a month that has belonged to the 12-time champs. They find themselves right now well and truly in final six contention. They've won 5 of their last 6.
We do have autograph sheets just here on the table. So feel free to come and grab an autograph sheet and then just hold up and we will call you through once the guys are ready.
Plenty of smiles. .39 margin. 5 players in double digits. For the Jets, their last home game of the season. One to come for them on the road to the Hawks. The Saints with games to come against the Giants and the Tuatara. They are within sight now of the final 6. Reggie Upshaw Jr. Here he is with Miles Pearce.
Reggie, it's been a great week for you guys. A couple of wins against the Hawks and now a big win here in Manawatu. Things have really turned around since you've been in Wellington. What can you tell us about that?
When I signed here, they said they were missing a couple of things just as far as playing defense, rebounding, and try to, just push the ball and add some scoring. So that's just try to come in, do that, and these guys already make it a lot easier for me to come in and play my game, and, it's showing on the court.
Impressive. You guys have moved into the top 6, fighting for a final spot. A couple of big games. How are you guys looking to finish out the season?
The same way that we've been playing these last 4. Just trusting each other, trusting the game plan, trusting the coaching staff, and just going out and trying to execute.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the season. Bring in Marnie Meter. Marnie, great game off the bench, knocking down 5 triples here on what was once your home court. Yep. Emotional day. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure, man. My teammates, they found me, putting a lot of work on the off-season. Jake, one of my best friends, so it's very sad. Actually, I made my debut for the NBL for the Jets on this court, and Jake debuted at the same time, so that's my brother, man. I wear 12. We both wear 12, so just grateful for my teammates, found me open, and all the work I put in the off-season paying off.
I know you two had some battles over who would get to wear that number 12 on a few teams, so really great to see you wearing it and great to see you playing well today. So congratulations and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it, Miles. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Well, what a game from Marnie Dougal-Meter. One of 5 Saints in double digits. He ended with 18. Let's have a look at the stats from this one this afternoon. Dominated by the Saints. And look at that scoring spread there. Kenneth Tuffin had a great game as well. Vidanovic, Dougal-Meter, Cooks, Samuel, they all got amongst it. Vidanovic with a double-double. Bohannon down on his normal average of 14.5 rebounds per game. Nartai ended with those 10 assists. Certainly deserved to have a few more. I'm sure he'll have a chat to his teammates during the week as we continue to roll through the stats from this one this afternoon. A game that right from the outset was dominated, Miles, by the Wellington Saints.
It really was, and just an absolute shooting performance from the Wellington Saints tonight. And like you mentioned, that first quarter, absolutely on fire and carried that throughout the whole game.
Well, don't go too far away, folks. There's the kids. They're ready to meet the players. They love it here in Palmerston North. Big basketball fans, huge basketball community. And they came out in full force to see their Jets this afternoon. Wasn't their afternoon, though. Rams and Giants tonight, Christchurch Arena, doubleheader. The Puakai and the Kahu are about to tip off in the next 15 minutes or so in the GJ Gardner Homes Ta'ihi Basketball Aotearoa. Great doubleheader coming up there. They're talking more than 5,000 people packed in to watch those two games at Christchurch Arena. Nuggets and Airs tomorrow from 3. The Airs coming off that tough loss to the Sharks last night. Bulls and Tuatara. This is a huge game. 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Both of those teams desperately needing to win. What a season it's been in the Cells NBL.
What a season and what a round. This is just absolutely game after game. Everything's on the line. I'm very much looking forward to heading home after this and watching the doubleheader that's coming up from Christchurch and the games. It's just all on every single game.
Hope you've enjoyed it. Saints get this one by 39. It is heating up. The final 6 not too far away. On behalf of the team, our production, all of our crew here at the Ballroom in Palmerston North this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed it on Sky Sport, your home of sport, your home of basketball. Justin Nelson and Miles Pearce wishing you well. Bye-bye for now.